Everybody, second video of the day because we got a lot of windshield time here. Came out here to Oakdale to actually look at a big old land listing, big old chunk of acreage, and so headed back now into Knoxville. And I've been researching this really for the last several weeks. I mean, really kind of softly the last couple months of, our market, and I share this with people, right? Our market is slowing down every single day. All right, and I'm going to talk about the market as a whole, a macro level, not a micro level, because there still is some micro, right? Small, minute areas, locations, house types, price points that still are, bonkers, going crazy. I seen one like 2 weeks ago have 12 offers, but again, like one-off. But more one-off scenarios at this point than average market. But how does it make sense for local prices? So local East Tennessee. How does it make sense for our median sales price, meaning close price, to continue to go up? Right? How does that make sense where, year to date, or not year to date, like a rolling 12 months, when it looked back, I think the March data was out and the average closing was up like 9%. I'm sorry, not March, this May from last May. Right? And I can tell you overall, our market in that period, values did not increase 10%. It didn't. I mean, I meant it really. I'd say values really overall just kind of stayed pretty stagnant. Maybe got 3, maybe 5% in some areas, price points and stuff, but definitely didn't. So how is median sales price going up? But also inventory is skyrocketing. We are over 5,000 homes. Inventory goes up. It's simple economics here, supply demand, right? The more inventory has, the more buyer options there are. That means it's harder it is for the seller to sell their home, right? And so our market on paper is quickly turning into a buyer's market. Buyers are going to win on paper. Obviously, buyers don't win overall because their interest rates are trash, 7% today. But how is that, right? How is your average sales price and median sales price going up, but closings and pending homes, and I've been researching this, are at like record lows? I think closings last year, and I would imagine this year's even worse, was at the lowest it had been in like 30-something years. Wild stats to think, like total closings across the country was at like the lowest level it's been. You got to think what our population is. How much of our population increased in 30 years? I don't know, by 50 million? I don't know. I have no clue, right? So you have 50 million more people, but you have less closings than what we've had, since we were 50 less million people. Pending homes. I was watching this one video, and since the basically National Association of Realtors have started keeping track, and it was like in 2021, we're at the lowest level of like pending homes, meaning it's under contract, contingent pending meaning the same thing. But we're at the lowest levels since they started keeping track of it. We're lower than since at any point in history since they started tracking it. So that means less people are buying homes, but yet average price and median price is going up. So again, big math guy, love math, love data, geek out on it. And so my research, I was like, okay, I put my finger on it. I found what's going on. And so I've been thinking about it the last couple of days, like how do I convey this to other people, maybe that aren't math people? So I've come up with this example. Hopefully it's a good example and it makes sense to you. Because I'm trying to, I try to look at things like, how do I explain this to a 4-year-old, right? How do I get a 4-year-old to understand this? So doing my best here to give you the best example possible. So let's say that in 2022, right, market was like half good, half bad in 2022. Let's just say, right, there was 10 closings, right? 10 closings in 2022, and I'm just going to use very basic, easy numbers. Let's say of those 10 closings, 5 of them were at 400,000, and the other 5 was at 300,000. Well, so if half of them are 400, half of them are at 300, your average and your median price is 350,000, right? The middle, it's equal. So 350 would be your average and your median. right? So in order for the average to go up is basically, average closed house by number of houses closed, right? That has to go up. Your median price is how many total closings there are, and then what is that median price of those kind of total closings. Well, how are they going up when closings are at record levels lows and pendings are at record level lows and inventory is going up? Well, it's simple, and I'm going to use this to rich and poor terms. That's all I'm going to do, and I'm just kind of stereotyping, right? What we've seen during COVID, and this is all backed up by people way smarter than me in data, is basically the middle class shrink, right? You got a lot of people, wealthy people get really rich, get richer in COVID, right? So you've seen a big, huge of wealth transfer. And then you had your middle class and your poor class get poorer. They literally, the poorer class got poorer, and your middle class in America also got poorer overall, right? That means affordability now, what you can afford for the average income in America is at the lowest it's ever been. It is just trash. People can't afford anything. People every day are going in more and more debt every day. So people aren't climbing out of debt. So that means when people are getting more and more debt every day, that means there's not a whole lot of new buyers coming to the table, because instead of them saving up for down payments, saving up for closing costs, they're going into more debt because it costs more for your everyday items, right? We all see it. That's common sense of what's going on right now. So because of this transfer of wealth, you have your poor, middle, lower class. They're not buying homes right now. Well, they're not buying homes right now because what they can afford, and I'm just using here in our market, East Tennessee, right, is crap. Your average household income, I don't know, in East Tennessee is, probably somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000, maybe a little bit less, depending on what rural counties you get to. But right, and if they have no debt, meaning they have no credit card debt, which they likely do right now in this economy, no car payment, no student loans, right? They can afford their max budget, maxing them out, meaning they're house poor on paper. They can afford a $200,000 to $250,000 house. Well, they have a family of, if there's 4 of them, right? Husband, wife, 2 kids. Well, they need a 3-bedroom. Probably want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Not many places in East Tennessee can you find a livable 3-bedroom, 2-bath, decent home for that budget. Well, that means they're not buying homes. So when you go back here to the example I used, right, 10 closings, 5 of them at 400, 5 of them at 300, average was 350. So what's happening now is we no longer have 10 closings. Now, because less people are buying homes, we have 7 closings. So let's say we have 7 instead of 10 closings, right? So we have 7 total closings, right? So now we have less. So that means each closing actually means more. Well, of the 7 closings, 5 of them are at 400,000. 2 of them are at 300,000. So you still have I'm just getting stereotyping the numbers here. You still have what is upper middle class, wealthy people buying houses because they have the money. They've been making the money. These are people probably making $150,000+ a year. So, having a $3,000-$4,000 mortgage payment is not a huge deal to them. They're the one buying the houses now. So they're still buying houses, but your middle, lower class, poor class is not buying houses. So when you look at the number, total closings are down, but now 5 of the 7 are at 400. Well, only 2 of the 7 are at 300. Well, your average sales price is higher. Your median sales price is higher than what it is. So that's my grand example of it. So I hope that makes sense to people. But that's what's happened. We got less closings going on, but because of less closings that's going on, it's more higher price point on average closings that's happening because that's who can afford homes right now. So if you really look at the overall market, in my opinion right now, and I work with buyers and sellers every single day. Right now I think we have 26 pending contracts. We've closed over 80, almost 90 contracts year to date. We're 6 months into the year, right? That's a lot of real estate. It's a lot of contracts. It's a lot of data. It's a lot of metrics. A lot of negotiations that we're a part of. And buyers are winning on the contract right now. Prices are coming down. My sellers are accepting lower prices. So knowing this and seeing this, I was like, how does it make sense for what I'm experiencing? My sellers are accepting less. My buyers are getting better deals on houses. We're getting closing costs. We're getting money off. We're getting repairs. But yet the median price is going up. That's how it makes sense. It's because less people are buying homes. The people that are buying homes are just buying higher price point homes. So therefore, the lower price point homes aren't selling like they were before to keep the price, got that median price down. So that's what's going on. It's actually like it's a very weird situation to kind of think about of why house prices are going up. And so the media can spin this in many different ways. But if you watch any really media now, a lot of these YouTube people, I mean, it is crash. They're all saying it. And again, I'm still buying real estate. If a rental property makes sense, I'm still going to buy it. There is no, what I would say is like crash, like a 2008. I don't think that at all. But a lot of people are using that for the clickbait to get the likes and the views and that whole thing. But I do think like something's got to give, really probably within the next 6 months, or sellers can be in a world of hurt. And what a world of hurt is, not getting anywhere close to what the value of their home woulda, shoulda, coulda be. Today, 6 months ago, even a year ago, and that's purely because there's no buyers to buy it. And that means when there's no buyers to buy it, you're going to eventually have a seller that for whatever reason has got to get out of it, personal reasons, divorce, relocation, and they're going to be like, screw it, you know what, I just don't want to mess with this stuff, lower my price, take $50,000 less than what my house is worth. And then that is the same trickle effect. Especially it's going to trigger appraisers to look at that. It's going to be the same trickle effect as when the buyers were coming in from out of state here and they were saying, yep, give $50,000 over. Boom, $50,000 over. Well, the next seller in the neighborhood, well, they're going to list it, that's a new comp for them. They're going to list it that comp, not what the previous comps were. They're going to list it that brand new shiny $50,000 higher comp that closed, right? That's going to happen to the sellers is, your neighbor's going to cut out, and then buyers are going to come in and they're going to say, whoa, you want $300,000 like your neighbor, nearly same exact everything. They just closed at $250. Why would I give you $300 when your neighbor just closed at $250? You're going to be in a weird situation. And will something change with the election? I don't know. I don't mind telling you I'm obviously a Trump supporter. I can consider myself an independent. I don't mind. I'm not going to go out here and march for somebody. I'm not marching against somebody. I hope everybody does their own thing and whatever, right? I'm all about everybody having their own right to do whatever. But I don't think even if Trump gets elected, much is going to happen, right? Because the Fed, who controls interest rate, that guy is still going to be in office for like a year and a half with a Trump presidency. Now, is there other things they can move, shake, and change? I'm sure, right? They can probably do things to help, and I would imagine, right, it would stimulate the economy. We'd open up, gas prices are going to plummet. Gas prices plummet. The cost of, 18-wheelers, I'm passing up. The cost of, trains and all that delivery stuff should go down. It's the key is the greed of big corporations. Are they going to keep their prices high, right? Because I saw a thing the other day where they were talking about investigating the grocery stores of keeping the prices high. And I think they've done it. I think grocery stores are just saying, how is inflation at 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is, but prices in grocery stores are still double. It's because people are paying for it. Grocery store profits at record high. Well, it wouldn't look good for the shareholders or the CEO for them next year to basically lose money because people are paying for it. Again, you get a whole spin on that, but I figured I would share that with you. Why does it make sense? And especially like sellers, like, see, I understand, like, house prices, it says the median prices are still going up. You're telling me market's slowing down. It is. It's slowing down because less people are buying houses. But the people that are buying houses are wealthier individuals, so therefore they're buying on the expensive side. Lower income, middle class is not able to buy any houses. They're not buying houses, so therefore the data is kind of skewed because only wealthier people are really, on average, buying houses at a higher rate, faster rate than your lower income. That's what it is. So, questions? Holla.